introduce our valedictorian for Best of 24-25, Mr. Anton Buju Greenhits. If you really don't want to produce Anton, but clearly we would lose. So, Buju is a proud son of Trinidad Tobago, a Hillview College graduate and recipient of a National Scholarship in Information and Communication Technology. He holds a bachelor's in mathematics and computer science and is currently pursuing his master's in data science right here in the Faculty of Science and Technology. A true lover of people, education, numbers, and memories, Buju's passion runs deep. His light reflects a powerful belief that each of us carries within us the potential to transform not just our own lives, but the lives of others in ways that are both profound and lasting. His journey has taken him across the world, but somehow the universe brought him back home to sweet TNT, back to his roots, his culture, and his purpose. Along the way, he faced great loss and great triumph. From the heartbreak of losing his mother and pausing his studies, to rising once more with faith, perseverance, and strength to stand before us today as valedictorian of the 2024-2025 prizes and awards ceremony. Guided by his motto, "It's never too late to be great," Buju continues to inspire others to dream big, act boldly, and lift each other up. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have Valedictorian from the king himself, Mr. Anton.
Good afternoon, my beautiful people. I am truly honored to stand here before you today as the valedictorian for this prizes and awards ceremony, to represent the best of the best, the high achievers of the University of West Indies. I want to begin by saying that I believe each and every one of you here was born with greatness. You have limitless potentials, and the journey of discovering that greatness begins by looking within. You see, every one of us has something unique, a gift, a calling, something we love to do and do effortlessly. But too often, we get so caught up in expectations that we forget to ask the most important question. What do I really want? What do I really want? If I could have anything at all, what would that look like? What kind of life would you live? What impact would you make? The first step to leadership, to greatness, to fulfillment is to discover your purpose. Because when you know your why, you'll find your way. I believe that every person is born a leader, but we still must become leaders. And today's society has programmed us to be followers. But hidden inside each follower is a hidden leader waiting to be released. And a true leader doesn't just collect followers. A true leader unlocks the leaders, the thing they follow. So how do we become leaders? Leadership is not about position or popularity. I want to take this definition of leadership I got from Dr. Miles Monroe. He spent 30 years researching leadership, and this is the definition he came up with. I am not even 30 years old yet, so I don't think I could come up with something better myself. Leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, generated by a passion, motivated by a vision, birthed by a conviction, and produced by a purpose. And to become a leader, we must begin with the end in mind and work backwards. So we must start with purpose. Purpose is the source or the original intent for something. It is the reason why something exists. So this is very important to answer. In fact, it is the third question of the 5 most important questions of life. Now, these 5 questions, they are very tough, right? I'll give them to you all today. for you all to think about. And think long and hard, because these are questions everyone is struggling with. From the beggar on the street to the billionaire in the penthouse, all struggling with these questions. The first question is, who am I? The question of identity. The second question, where am I from? This is the question of source. The third question, why am I here? The question of purpose. I think one of the most important questions. The fourth question is, what can I do? This is the question of ability. And the fifth question is, where am I going? The question of destiny. Our generation is going through an identity crisis. Many people don't know who they are because they've never taken the time to find out. They haven't invested the time with themselves to know who they really are and what it is they want, what they want to do, what do they like, what do you like, what don't you like. We have to spend time with ourselves just as we would with any friend, to get to know ourselves better. So when you know who you are, that tells you why you are here. And when you know why you are here, that gives you direction, your destiny. So when you discover your purpose and you become convinced by it, convicted, so the definition of leadership, we have to work backwards. So we start with the purpose. When you discover your purpose, then you have to become convinced about it, convicted, where you reach to the point where you know this is what you were meant to do, and there's nothing that can stop you but you. When you become convicted like that, then your purpose starts to show up in pictures, right? You call that your vision. Your vision is your purpose in pictures. When you close your eyes and see your dreams so clearly and open them to a reality that doesn't yet match, just remember what you see is temporary. And if you stay faithful, one day what you saw in your mind will become what you see in reality. And this is happening right in this very moment, because I saw this happening for years. I pictured this every day. I imagined being the valedictorian speaking to the people. And there was a lot of times when I didn't think it would happen. A lot of hiccups we went through, but here we still are, because I didn't give up. And I don't want any one of y'all to give up today. So this vision gives birth to a passion. When you see that vision, it motivates you and it generates that passion. And when people see that passion, they get inspired. They feel your energy and it inspires them to take action. And when that happens, that is when you become a leader. Because when you inspire others to take action, you influence them and they will call you their leader. So leadership really is about self-discovery. So once you know what you want and why you want it, you must create a plan, what I call a map, a massive action plan. Once you know your outcome, you know your purpose, you make a map, then you start taking action. Your plan doesn't have to be sound. You just need to have a plan, because it's going to change anyway. Not everything is going to work. You try something, it doesn't work. You try something else. You keep changing the actions you take until you get the desired result. So that's why we have to be results focused. Again, you don't need to have every step figured out. The reasons come before the results. That's why the purpose is so important. Because when the tough times come, and they're going to come, your purpose, why are you doing this? That is what is going to drive you and keep you going in those difficult moments, right? So when you know your purpose and have your outcome and create your plan, you gain this confidence, this courage, and eventually the competence to pursue your dreams and make it a reality. As I said years ago, I saw this. I suppose the only difference was I would have loved my mother to be here to witness this, but I believe she is still seeing it up above. So, my mother, I'm so grateful for her. She gave everything for me. She believed in me. And that's why I knew I had to complete my studies. Even though there were difficulties, I had a pause when she passed away for a couple of years, trying to figure things out. I know I had to return. And it so happened that I came back here. I started here in UE. I did a year here before I transferred over to go study at University of Waterloo in Canada. And I returned here to finish those studies. So the Lord has a way of working things out. It doesn't always be how we expect, but He has a purpose for us. And once we stay true to it, we end up getting more than we thought we would have. More than we could have ever imagined. So, I say to you, it is never too late to be great. This is my motto. I tell everyone this because it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. What matters is now. What is your present attitude, your present goals? That is what is important. It doesn't matter if you messed up months ago, minutes ago. What matters is what are you going to do now? You always have an opportunity to be better. If you're still alive, you're still here, that means there's still a purpose for you. And you need to figure what that is. Because your gift is here to serve humanity. And if you go to your grave with all your greatness still locked in, the people who you were supposed to help will suffer. And perhaps in their suffering, they may not figure out their purpose and help the people who they were supposed to help. So you could see this chain of suffering, right? Which maybe is responsible for all the suffering we have today. But even in the suffering, there are still people, through the suffering, they find their purpose. So again, it's never too late to be great. I believe our universal purpose is to help others. Each of us was created to serve, but in our own unique way. So I could tell you your purpose is to help others, but how you help others, that is for you to figure out. You must do that in your own unique way. You might not be called to serve everyone, but there are people out there waiting for your specific gift. Don't let your greatness go to the grave. Someone's breakthrough might depend on your obedience to your purpose. And do not discount that. Who knows? Just maybe your words could change someone's heart. Hopefully these words today changes someone's heart today and shows them that they are meant for more. We are not isolated beings. We are all interdependent. So when we work together, we are stronger together. And that's what we must strive for. So let us rise and raise our standards. Let us embody the spirit of excellence. And as we go forth to conquer our destinies, we must remember the power of unity, working together because we are stronger together. When we unite, there is nothing that we cannot achieve. So I want to thank you and congratulate each and every one of you. And if you would like to continue this journey of inspiration, you can find me on YouTube at I Am King Buju. I make daily messages to help awaken the greatness within, because I believe this is part of my purpose, to help others discover their purpose. So I thank you for the listening here today, and I wish that you have a wonderful evening.